Okay, this is the Sports Inquirer, and we are here, Emar Soper 2, and we are here with Brad Stromdahl from Georgia State Baseball. Thanks for joining us. We haven't spoken since the beginning of the year. You went through a very extensive non-conference schedule against numerous nationally ranked teams. How do you think the team made out with that, just playing so many competitive teams, especially on the road?
Did a good job. I mean, really, we had the toughest schedule in NCAA history for the pregame or pre-conference series, and so going on the road and playing those teams, it's taught us so much. We were, we got absolutely everything we need for the future. Going up against guys who are 24 and 25 and 26 years old. And we have 29 freshmen and sophomores and 18 and 19-year-olds. It shows us how to play.
Well, Coach, I've been looking at statistics and following the games, and a big performer for you has been Josh Smith. What about him and just his contributions to the team through the early part of the year?
No, Josh has done an excellent job at, kind of blending our philosophy with what it is that he can bring to the table. And so he has one of the highest contact rates on our team in terms of putting the ball in play. He really understands the game. He sees it forward. He sees what we're trying to do. He sees where there's, exploitations, whether the second base is playing up the middle and he can shoot the 4-hole. Just really is understanding the game, and then he's executing it. And so he's been getting a little bit big early in the counts. And so he's really done a good job adjusting to stay shorter, be able to put the ball in play, and he's been excellent with 2 strikes. And so he's really taken a prideful approach with he's not going to strike out. I'm not going to strike out. I'm going to put the ball in play. And so his 2-strike approach and his 2-strike hitting is probably the reason why he's doing so well. And he's kind of leading us. He's leading us statistically. He's leading us off the field, and he's leading us on the field. So Josh is been an excellent kid and excellent person for what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and Will Mize is another guy hitting above 500 for you that started, I think, every contest so far this year. What about his contributions to the team and also him driving in runs for you?
Yeah, no, he's been, he's hit leadoff, 2-hole, 3-hole, 4-hole throughout the course of the season as we've kind of needed him to. And so he really did a good job of being able to kind of anchor the offense with his ability just to put the ball in play. He's been pitched differently here in the last couple of weeks just because he is the hot hand, and so he's kind of learning as well. He just turned 19, I think, and so he's just kind of really starting to understand scouting reports and what the future holds for the teams coming in based on the previous weekend. And so he's done a great job of getting us the runs when we need them, putting the ball, big RBIs. I mean, to be a COVID freshman and do what he's been able to do through our preseason schedule at the SEC, and really to be able to do the things that he's, kind of going to be able to do in the future. It's just so exciting to be able to put him out there behind Josh Smith or in front of Josh Smith and kind of them anchor down our offense and see if we can get some W's.
We spoke in preseason about Eliel Merejo and him receiving a lot of preseason accolades. And I look at his numbers. There's some positives, but there's some things looks like there could be improvements on. Do you think it's just a fact of him being pitched differently this year or being approaching it? And how do you handle that as a manager with a player that is maybe not hitting some or reaching some of those hitting statistics that he would like?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that, there's a lot of different factors in it. I think that the draft goes into it a lot. Playing such a tough schedule early, there's some teams that were able to pitch our guys differently. We're looking at the average velocity for fastball that we've seen this year throughout the entire season, and it's 90.4 miles an hour, as opposed to, Mercer, whose their average fastball velocity has been 84. And I always say Mercer's because, we saw that yesterday or on Tuesday. And so, when you factor in where we've seen and who we've seen and the velocities that we've seen, it's a relative learning curve. And if, you kind of lose your edge a little bit, and I don't think he's lost his edge, he's just kind of finding his way. And so he's a huge part of what we need to do and how we need to have success. And I'm looking forward to him continuing to build. And so kind of as a manager, you just want to stay positive. You want to keep him positive. You want to keep growing. You want to keep learning. You want to keep getting in the cage. Just keep encouraging. And so sometimes you have to sit somebody for a couple of days and just kind of take a mental break. Other times you need to go out there and they just need to get their at bats. And his thing, obviously, if you've watched some of our games, and he's getting to 2 strikes, and he's not fighting like Josh Smith fights with 2 strikes to put the ball in play. Eliel's still trying to do a little bit too much when it comes to 2-strike hitting. And so those are the things that we've been talking about and working on. And I think that, as we continue down this road, the stuff that we work on and the execution of the pitches and the situations, it all comes to fruition eventually. And so hopefully eventually is tomorrow. But we'll see. It's a process, and everything is a work in process.
2 more things. Looking at the season this year, you have Ryan Watson, who's been a solid, consistent guy for you, but I think you've had 8 different starters so far this season. That's a pretty strong amount. I know you've had some midweeks and things like that, but is that just due to the scheduling? You had so many games bunched together, and how is the staff holding up physically with all those games, just making it through it?
No, absolutely. Obviously I think you would love to have 3 or 4 starters and that's it. But we've had a couple of guys go down with injury, and nothing major right now. In terms of a huge Tommy John but there's some elbow tendonitis, there's some bicep tendonitis, there's some elbow pain, some knee stuff that just kind of goes throughout the course of the season. Couple that with, we have just a ton of young kids on the mound this year, where our pitching staff is in essence all freshmen and sophomores. And so what you also want to do is you got to figure out who can do what and what role they play best on your team. And so, we started Chandler Dawson last week. We started Mason Patel the week before. We'll figure out who we're going to start this weekend on Sunday and Monday. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what our best fit is going into conference. And so, we thought the Dawson was our best fit on last Sunday with our first Sunday conference game. And so this weekend is another opportunity for us to start a couple of guys. We got 4 games in 4 days versus Kennesaw. And so, we're holding up okay. And I think that we have, for the most part, everything solidified as to where we want to be and what we want to be doing. But, we just got to find the right guy to start for us. And that's youth. I thought that Dylan Matella had an unbelievably great outing last week, or this last Tuesday. But he was at 50 pitches through 3 innings, and so we're not trying to do too much and put too much pressure on them. So, kind of answer that question all the way around. I'm not sure what we're going to do, and we might keep doing the same thing all year. But one of these guys is going to step up, just kind of like the freshmen that we have. Offensively, these guys are starting to step up, and they're starting to understand how to play the game and how to play the game the right way. And, just really looking forward to that next opportunity. And so I think that we have a really good idea of where we stand with our personnel, and really it all comes to fruition when we hit Georgia Southern, because that's in division conference, and we got 5 weekends in a row of conference division play. So this weekend's the last time we do it, and then we'll get to next week.
Well, I was going to ask you about Kennesaw State, but you gave a pretty good rundown of everything that you have going on with the team. So we'll end it there. Thanks for your time, Brad. We appreciate it, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.